The Artemis 1 mission of NASA is about to take an important step towards sending people back to the moon after a 50-year absence. However, due to a problem with one of the rocket's engines, the launch, which was originally slated for the morning of August 29, 2022, was delayed. In order to make sure that all systems are prepared to carry humans, an Orion spacecraft will be sent into deep space by the Space Launch System mega rocket before the dangerous mission to the moon. In preparation for the crewed Artemis 2 voyage around the moon and the Artemis 3 landing mission, NASA intends to test everything to the absolute limit. The organization expects that its Artemis program will eventually aid in the development of technology for Mars exploration. However, Artemis 1 must first accomplish a number of challenging goals in order to fulfill its mission. Our video today explores the 10 remarkable facts about the uncrewed test phase of NASA's Artemis 1 moon mission. Be sure to like our video, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more exciting future videos. The Space Launch System, the most powerful rocket ever created, has never left the gravitational pull of Earth. Overlooking 2 boosters, the core stage is more than 200 feet tall, with engines that will be powered by 2.76 million liters of supercooled liquid oxygen and hydrogen. By the way, those engines were used in NASA's Space Shuttle program, which was shut down in 2011. The rocket has undergone a number of tests, including a lengthy wet dress rehearsal in June 2022, during which the rocket was fueled and brought almost to the end of a mock countdown. The rocket passed the test requirements to be certified for flight, according to NASA, despite a hydrogen leak and other technical difficulties. The remainder, officials said, could be fixed at the vehicle assembly building before launch. Orion will spend between 39 and 42 days in space, depending on when it launches. For example, launches on August 29th or September 5th would result in a 42-day mission, whereas a launch on September 2nd would begin a 39-day flight. The discrepancy is due to orbital dynamics, as the Earth and Moon are always moving relative to one another. NASA is extending the spacecraft's stay in orbit to make a point, by pushing its spacecraft to its limits to ensure it is ready for humans, even going so far as to say it would be okay to push to failures that would not be acceptable with a human on board. According to NASA's Mike Serafin, the organization is eager to increase risk on an unmanned test trip in order to reduce hazards for the crewed voyage. He argues that this way of thinking provides NASA a chance to lean forward and be prepared for people the next time. While humans have previously harnessed solar power in space, it has only been in the safe bounds of Earth orbit via the International Space Station. The Apollo lunar astronauts used fuel cells as their primary power source in the 1960s and 1970s. This dynamic will be altered by Orion's use of solar power close to the moon. The European Space Agency's service module is in charge of providing oxygen, water, and power to the Orion spacecraft. All of this will be powered by electricity generated by 3 solar panels that capture energy from our sun. According to the ESA, each of the 4 wings is made up of 3 panels that generate enough electricity to run 2 typical European families, while also delivering 120 volts for the computers, experiments, and other hardware. One of the travelers on board the Orion spacecraft is Amazon's Alexa. The virtual assistant is well known on Earth for its capacity to manage a wide range of personal gadgets, including speakers, phones, and Internet of Things gadgets. Alexa will participate in a technology demonstration named Callisto on Artemis 1. In collaboration with Orion manufacturer Lockheed Martin, Callisto, which also includes Cisco's WebEx video conferencing software, will demonstrate artificial intelligence, voice technology, and a tablet-based video demonstration. When the technology was first discussed in January 2022, Lisa Callahan, Vice President and General Manager of Commercial Civil Space for Lockheed Martin, said in a statement that Callisto will demonstrate a first-of-its-kind technology that could be used in the future to enable astronauts to be more self-reliant as they explore deep space. The SLS Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage will provide Orion, NASA's crewed spacecraft, to be used in the Artemis mission with a vital moon push before Orion takes out on its own. Orion will travel 450,000 kilometers beyond Earth after the translunar injection. Orion will subsequently be entrusted with settling into an orbit that will bring it barely 100 kilometers above the moon's surface at the path's lowest point, assuming that system checks go smoothly. After traveling around 64,000 kilometers from the moon, Orion will leverage the moon to move to a deeper location than any previous spacecraft designed for humans. Orion will travel farther than Apollo 13's 3 astronauts, who in 1970 took a slightly different path around the moon and subsequently swung into a deeper region of space than the earlier Apollo missions. Given that all of the crew members managed to survive a devastating accident, the mission has been referred to as a successful failure. In order to return to a path that would have allowed them to safely reach Earth, the astronauts had to repeatedly fire their engines while navigating a damaged spaceship. Orion won't have any humans on board, but it will have 3 mannequins that look like humans, provided by NASA and Europe. 2 mannequin torsos, also known as phantoms, were carried onto the spacecraft by the Matryoshka Astrorad Radiation Experiment Science Team, which also consists of researchers from DLR, the German Space Agency. Each of the 2 mannequins, nicknamed Helga and Zohar, will carry 5,600 sensors to detect radiation. Zohar will also wear an Astrorad radiation protection vest to see what impact it has. A Moonikin, a male-bodied mannequin previously used in Orion vibration tests, bearing the name of Apollo 13 engineer Arturo Campos, serves as the 3rd crew member. The Moonikin comprises acceleration, vibration, and radiation sensors to analyze the stresses of space on a human during launch, spaceflight, and landing. Characters from the Peanuts comic strip will be on board NASA's next spacecraft, Artemis 1, continuing a long-standing NASA tradition. The adorable Snoopy the Beagle will serve as a plush toy and zero-gravity indicator on Orion. Snoopy is best known as the name of the lunar module that Apollo 10 used to practice landings during moon missions. According to the organization, Snoopy will be outfitted on Orion in an identical orange NASA uniform to the future Artemis astronauts. Silver Snoopy pins, a long-standing award presented to top-performing NASA employees, will also be included aboard. Charles Monroe Scholes, the creator of Peanuts, who died in 2000 at age 77, would also be honored. NASA allowed space enthusiasts to add their names to the Orion spacecraft, continuing another long-standing space tradition. Ordinary people were able to submit names via an agency website, and the entries were then loaded onto a flash drive kept on board the ship. A group of 30,000 people who enhanced all of those entries, which totaled close to 3.4 million, are credited with making it feasible for Orion to complete its mission. To show appreciation to the committed employees who have donated their time and effort to the trip, NASA said those names were inscribed on microchips. According to the agency, the primary categories of participation included personnel from NASA, ESA, industry, and suppliers, spanning from mission operations to various flight programs. Artemis 1 will also carry 10 CubeSats that will conduct research on the Sun, Moon, and even near-Earth asteroids. CubeSats are miniature spacecraft that are beginning to leave the solar system after decades of service on Earth for observation, telecommunications, and other uses. The majority of the tiny spacecraft will be used for lunar exploration, although a couple will have distinct tasks. The NEA Scout, for example, will instead spend 2 years traveling to a target asteroid. The project will explore an asteroid up close using a solar sail, although the exact objective will be determined after the launch date. When the spacecraft comes within 100 to 120 kilometers of the asteroid, a camera named NEA Cam will record photographs in stunning 20 megapixel quality for transmission back to Earth. Orion's erratic mission will come to an end with an aggressive re-entry. As it approaches Earth, the spacecraft must first detach its service module so that it may operate solely on batteries during the re-entry and splashdown phases. Compared to routine missions in low Earth orbit, the descent back to Earth will begin at a height of around 400,000 feet and be extremely swift. At a speed of around 24,500 miles per hour, the spaceship will collide with our atmosphere, causing deceleration forces that might be up to 9 times as strong as gravity, in comparison to a typical International Space Station re-entry that might generate deceleration forces just about 3 times as strong. The outside of the spacecraft will reach temperatures of up to 2,800 degrees Celsius. Orion will break through the sound barrier over the Pacific Ocean, signaling to teams that it is almost ready for splashdown. It will deploy a thermal blanket before deploying drogues and parachutes to slow descent. By the time it splashes down, it should have decreased its speed from 32 times the speed of sound to 0. So there you have it, the 10 shocking facts about the NASA moon mission. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch also our next video on your screen, which presents the unexpected images of Jupiter revealed by the James Webb Space Telescope. As always, give the video a like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting future videos.